Dan, the Messi of AI. I mean, that's a tall order right there.
I think that's really what CARP's built. And in my opinion, it's still undiscovered as just a broader AI play, which is why I believe they're the Messi of AI. I think there's a golden path right now for them to monetize what we view as potentially $1 trillion market opportunity. And I think investors still have not recognized what this golden goose could be.
Yeah, I mean, as we just mentioned, the stocks moved pretty ferociously here in the last couple of months and since the start of the year. When you think about some of these newer AI applications in real time, they're already being applied on the battlefield. Case in point, Ukraine. Palantir is a key example of that. Do you think this is a situation where investors don't fully understand what this company does because so much of it is defense tech? And yes, I realize it's expanding out to the commercial side too, but there's a lot that they can't talk about, for example.
Well, I think that's the biggest misperception. I can tell you, we're talking to many in the 202 area code. The reputation of Palantir speaks for itself in terms of, any sort of operations, three-letter agencies. Now, if you're an enterprise CIO, and this is the conversations I've had, you're looking toward AI platform approach, Palantir is potentially the first call. And that's why I think in this AI gold rush, what I view as the fourth industrial revolution, of course it's NVIDIA, Microsoft top of the mountain with Nadella. You look at second, third, fourth derivatives, right now Palantir front and center. And that's why I think this is a stock. You look at our bull case model, I think this is ultimately $25. And I think as they execute, more investors start to look at it.
In an era where artificial intelligence and big data are the rock stars of technological innovation, Palantir has swiftly become the headline act. Reeling from an impressive 87% surge in its share price over the past year, Palantir's recent partnership with a tech giant is making waves in the stock market community. Something significant is brewing behind the scenes, with Microsoft's large language models being integrated into Palantir's AI platform. This partnership could potentially reshape how AI-driven solutions are deployed within U.S. government operations. Enter Microsoft and Palantir, a formidable team now working together to provide advanced cloud, AI, and analytics solutions via Microsoft's Azure OpenAI service within government and classified cloud environments. The collaboration promises to be a game-changer, not just for Palantir's corporate trajectory, but also for federal agencies reliant on cutting-edge AI tools. And as a result, many analysts are very bullish on Palantir, such as the Wedbush titan, Dan Ives. But why is this the case? Let's find out. But first, if you want to keep up with the latest updates of companies like NVIDIA and keep up with the stock market's latest news, you can follow our Twitter account. We post multiple times daily about the biggest changes and catalysts in the market, so click the follow button if you don't want to miss the newest market updates. Now, back to today's video.
Wow, and the stock's trading at about 17 or about 17.50 right now. Steve, want to get your thoughts on this, especially since Alex Karp, one of the co-founders and the current CEO of Palantir, did pen a very long, I'll say, op-ed in the New York Times about AI earlier this week.
Yeah, and comparing it to Oppenheimer and how this is really an opportunity. We hear so much, at least this is Karp's view, we hear so much from the community developing AI about being responsible and safe. And even years ago, he brings up the examples of Microsoft employees upset about working with the Army and Google employees upset about doing the digital satellite imagery. He seems to kind of embrace it. I just want to pick out one quote from this. I mean, he calls for a, quote, more intimate collaboration between the state and technology sector, really comparing it to what Oppenheimer did, if you saw the movie or read the book or the history lesson about that, working hand in hand with the government before someone else does it. And he brings up the case about Ukraine. And I guess the other thing, Dan, I was kind of curious for your take on this, because there is a meme stockiness to Palantir, too. I'm wondering how much of that factors into your calculation there,
Yeah,
too.
no doubt. I mean, there's a huge retail presence.
Right.
And but also I think this is one where maybe retail has been ahead of institutional in terms of understanding the actual potential AI story. I can tell you in my conversations today, it's really institutional investors being like, okay, what am I missing in this story? Where is the actual total addressable market opportunity? And can they go from government to commercial? Because I think when you start to look at that, for them is really the opportunity. And if you're a CIO of an enterprise, there's no better reference accounts than those in the 202 area.
Palantir's newfound momentum is no fluke. Historically known for its government contracts, the company is branching out towards commercial sectors, riding high on the wave of AI innovation. But let's be real for a moment. Who could have seen such a meteoric rise coming? Oh, right, everyone who's been glued to Wedbush analyst Daniel Ives' bullish take on the company. Ives is a longtime supporter of Palantir and sees the partnership with Microsoft as a landmark event. According to him, the collaboration is potentially game-changing, offering Palantir the opportunity to accelerate AI implementation across federal sectors. With this marquee deal solidified, and Microsoft leveraging Palantir for AI and large language model capabilities to the U.S. government, the company can now increase the pace of AI implementation while Palantir continues to accelerate AIP adoption within the federal sector. He notes, Ives anticipates that this deal will serve as a launching pad for Palantir's AIP story to gain traction within the Department of Defense and the broader Beltway ecosystem over the next 12 to 18 months. To offer some color, let's delve into the financial specifics. Palantir's shares are currently rated as outperformed by Ives, with a price target of $38, which could yield one-year returns of around 27%. This bullish forecast is based on the company's increasing demand for government software offerings and its ability to build compelling use cases. And why wouldn't it? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Investocracy.
Well, but what does that look like? I mean, if you think about it, okay, so it's very opaque what they're doing on the military side of it. I'm just curious, what does that look like on the commercial side? Like, what are you seeing there? And especially, I know they're growing some clients and so forth. What are you seeing there?
I'd say from a platform approach, in terms of scale, and in terms of actual use cases, they're probably the first call. I think they're probably in this market the purest AI play out there. Now, they built it, others are coming, but it just speaks to our view. In this fourth industrial revolution, Palantir is going to be a big player.
The first time I ever heard a major company say machine learning came from Palantir.
Yeah, and of course there's applications that, supply chain, which is a big area now for many companies, manufacturing applications. There's something to be said about, okay, you work with the government, you work on, in a classified capacity. You have these high level clearances for things like cloud applications as well, which only handful of companies do. Palantir is one of them. You're going to keep my data safe. I'm sure there's probably that in of itself has a certain cachet with commercial clients, I would imagine. But how does it happen alongside an uncertain macro environment where people are tightening belts?
And then to the tightening belts, I think we started to see with IBM. I think we've saw with Microsoft, Google, and others. I mean, for big tech, we're seeing an uptick. Ultimately, when it comes to AI, that's potentially 8 to 10% of budgets next year. And I do think you talk about reference accounts. You could sleep well at night when Palantir ultimately has your data in terms of from an AI use case perspective. And they're the only ones out there. They've proven it. Now they're proving it in the enterprise. That becomes a bigger piece. That's why then the stock gets re-rated, which is why we're bullish on it.
After all, the collaboration not only brings out the best in Palantir's existing products, Foundry, Gotham, Apollo, and AIP, but also positions these tools on Microsoft's robust cloud platforms. However, before you start dreaming of converting your savings into Palantir shares, it's crucial to acknowledge that not everyone shares Ives' enthusiasm. Wall Street's consensus rating lands Palantir stock at a more cautious hold. The stock faces a mixed bag of analyst opinions: 3 buys, 5 holds, and 6 sells, and an average price target of $22.42, suggesting a 24% discount from its current price. It appears Wall Street isn't entirely convinced that Palantir's latest moves will sustain long-term growth. But let's focus on what's undeniable: the rapidly growing importance of AI and data analytics in governmental activities. From logistics to action plans, the implementation of these technological advances is set to optimize the efficiency of agencies. Ives points out, this partnership underscores the continued importance of Palantir's government work. It's clear that while commercial opportunities are blooming, Palantir's government commitments remain integral to its DNA. The deciding factor will be whether agencies authorize and accredit these advanced services, turning the emerging possibilities into durable revenue streams. When considering the broader impact, it's worth noting that analysts believe this could significantly elevate Palantir's status within the federal landscape. The increasing interest across the federal domain is fueled by the demand for Palantir's software solutions designed for government operations. As the AI revolution continues to unfold, Palantir stands at a pivotal juncture, poised to benefit immensely if it plays its cards right. So what might be next for Palantir stock? Let's wrap it all up. But first, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
Let's talk Palantir with Kevin Green joining me. Let's take a look at the stock as this is, I think, a nice little dose of positivity here this morning, KG.
Yeah, we're seeing a nice little pop to the upside here. Obviously, we just opened, but trading around 12% since the close of yesterday. And they did have a really good earnings announcement, not only just for the numbers that were reported for the quarter, but also the guidance. They actually had revenue coming in at $678 million. That's around a 27% increase on a year-over-year basis. That beat the street's estimates of $653 million. And then the adjusted earnings per share came in at 9 cents, beating the street's expectations of 8 cents per share. But once again, kind of focusing on the commercial revenue. And this is really where the optimism is coming from when it comes to the stock. They have been relying on government revenue or government contracts, but they have been making this shift over the last couple of quarters. And we are seeing some green shoots there, to say the least. The commercial revenue came in at $307 million, up around 33% on a year-over-year basis, beating the street's expectations by $1 million. And government revenue actually did exceed the street's expectations as well, coming in at $371 million versus the street's estimates of $349 million. They did raise guidance for Q3 as well as the full year guidance, and they did talk about artificial intelligence and how that is really impacting their business when it comes to growth. They're able to onboard new customers, turn those customers around fairly quickly to bring them onto the platform. I think that was another bright spot. And they even also talked about being included into the S&P 500 or being eligible to be included. Now, the next rebalancing announcement for the S&P 500 will come out on September 6th. So keep your eye out on that. That could actually move the stock to the upside here if they are going to be considered and provided and included to the S&P 500, as we've seen some of these other names like Supermicro and things of that nature really catch a bid post those announcements.
Palantir's climb in the stock market is a testament to timely decisions and strategic partnerships. The recent alliance with Microsoft has set the stage for rapid AI adoption within the federal sector, making Palantir a hot contender for investors interested in AI-driven growth stocks. At present, the stock enjoys an impressive upward trajectory, and if Ives' optimistic forecasts are to be believed, there's considerable room for growth. Despite a mixed consensus on Wall Street, Palantir's potential for capturing durable revenue streams and leveraging the AI boom cannot be overlooked. Wedbush's price target of $38 speaks volumes about the confidence in Palantir's future, emphasizing its potent mix of government and commercial focus. Add to this the rapid deployment of advanced tools through Microsoft's cloud platforms, and Palantir appears well-positioned for continued ascent. Thus, while preparing to invest, always consider both the bullish and cautious perspectives. As the technological landscape shifts, Palantir is not just riding the wave of AI innovation, it's helping to shape it. But enough from us. What's your take on Palantir's future? Are we witnessing the rise of an AI behemoth, or is Wall Street's caution a signal of turbulence ahead? Finally, if you would like to know what companies like NVIDIA have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.